Hey, welcome to your first year pamphlet. My name is Rob, and I'm the host of this one-man show, coming to you every Monday, UK time, 6 a.m. Merry Christmas! We are surprisingly managing to publish another episode. We, as in me, basically. But usually I'm off these 2 weeks of Christmas and New Year's, but this year has been a bit different. We've celebrated in a different way, which was very interesting. I traveled for Christmas with my family. It was very, very fun, and now I'm back to record. I'm free to record, which is very, very good. And today, as you can tell from the title, I guess, we need to talk about the Avengers situation, like the new Avengers movie coming out next December, so in a year's time roughly. Avengers Doomsday is releasing, and that's surprisingly, not surprisingly, I guess, surprisingly to some, I guess, it's gaining a lot of chatter around the internet. I think I've seen online that this is the most searched movie of next year basically. So out of all the movies that are coming out next year, this is already the most searched one on Google, and there's a lot of chatter. And I think what's really interesting about this whole movie is that, one, it basically holds, it has a lot on his shoulders, like to carry in a way, like the whole, I would actually venture to say the whole genre of superhero movies rests on Avengers Doomsday's shoulder, because as you might have seen from the box office performances of the most recent superhero movies, Marvel, and I would venture to say even the DC has been really faulting. Out of all the movies that came out in the superhero market, in that sense, Superman was the highest grossing one, but I think even then it didn't gross more than $600 million globally. So, and all the other Marvel movies that came out this year grossed around 400 or something like that, 400, 500, something like that. So really, we're really, really far away from the heydays of Marvel as well, specifically with $1 billion movies every year or so, and then with, of course, Endgame and Infinity War, we reached a new peak of the two of the most successful movies at the box office ever. But as usually happens, I think with the Hollywood experience in general, they love to drive a genre down to the gutter, basically. Like, they just love to milk it till the very last drop, and there's no there's no thoughtful thinking when it comes to how they spread these things around, and they just are very, Hollywood usually loves to get super market oriented when it comes to these things. So once something really pays off, they drive the genre to the ground, basically. They just milk everything out of it, which is really sad, because there's so much lore and so much stuff that still could be explored through many movies, if only it was done in a more sparse and I guess more thoughtful way, instead of just being there for the money and the cash grab of it all. And I definitely blame, of course, the execs at Disney and Kevin Feige, of course, as well, for sort of just greenlighting so much stuff without having much concern about just in general continuity. What really made Marvel specifically and the superhero genre really thrive in the heydays was because everything felt like it was a chapter in a bigger story, and it was all connected, and whatever you saw in one movie would come back either in the next movie immediately or later on. But ever since Endgame, everything felt extremely disconnected, and just also, to be quite frank, they just set themselves up to very high expectations with that movie. But honestly, I don't think it would have been that difficult to replicate whatever they already did with the first 3 phases or whatever, 4 phases of the Marvel universe. They could have easily done it if they just scaled it back and just focused more on quality of the storyline and like, again, weaving this bigger story rather than just like throwing everything at the wall. And we all know how it turned out. It was just like a mad overdrive of content. And on the other spectrum, I guess DC was just trying to reboot itself. And maybe what really interests me the most about Superman is that, well, Superman is a very well established character overall, and I do think even the way the box office played out really tells you a lot about it. I think it performed like like a Superman movie would. Like, Superman is really, really popular in the US, but it doesn't really have much traction, I guess, internationally. And that it was an very impressive movie domestically, like in terms of box office achievement, but it really didn't capture the attention of the international audience as usual. So that's that. And I think also part of the reason why it performed really well was that James Gunn knows his stuff when it comes to comic book movies. But my biggest concern about the whole thing was that DC just felt that just starting to feel like a replica of Marvel in a way. Like the vibe, the tone is like very similar. Like it's DC and Marvel used to work so well like separately because they would offer, they would counter program basically. Like this DC was always the more serious toned superhero story in that sense. Like they would offer so many comic books that were more on the serious note, while Marvel was more of the lighthearted and very family friendly brand in a way. And it worked. I think that was the beauty of it. But I think also that must have sort of affected the brand of superhero movies in a way. They all started to feel like quite the same, like all the same, to be fair, which is not really what you want, I guess, if you want like a genre to thrive, or like just in general, if you have competing I guess products, you want to like sort of differentiate them a bit as well. But yeah, so we've had a very rough year, but I think what really stands to test, I guess, here is the brand of the Avengers specifically. And Avengers are those movies that really have brought a lot of cash in for Hollywood. So this being a new Avengers movie since, like, the only Avengers movie basically coming out since Endgame, there's quite a lot. There's quite a lot going on, basically. There's quite a lot resting on its shoulders. And I do think it definitely has a shot at performing quite well, at least $1 billion. I'm hoping, at least. That would be ideal, of course, to at least really thrust the genre forward again. But yeah, I mean, who knows? We don't know about the quality. We don't know about the whatever creative decisions they're making over there. We've known about some, and people have reacted initially in contrasting way. Some people have liked it, some people have really disliked what they've chosen to do with this Avengers movie, which I'll get into when I go through the timeline, sort of. But yeah, so there is, I think, quite a lot to do, I think, with this, to think about, I guess. And also another part that really, I think, really stood out to me with this movie is how inventive the marketing has been so far for this one. Very new, which is quite astonishing for a genre that has been around for so long. Like, to still reinvent the wheel, at least when it comes to marketing, it's quite impressive and it's quite commendable, I think. So at least you could give props to the Russos, and Marvel overall. But yeah, again, points, I guess, in favor of why we could expect a lot from this movie is because like the Russos are coming back, and they've been the ones that have been the most successful, I think, in Marvel when producing the movies. Like, all the very big hits were theirs. Some of them, most of them, maybe, but yeah. And they've been really, really good when it comes to action sequences and all that. So at least I think when it comes to direction, I mean, we could sort of rest easy with that. What really is, important to note, I guess, is to us to like it's the creative direction of the movie, and how are they gonna sort of like this movie also has a great target to achieve here, because and it's a very difficult one at that, because whatever happened before this movie, it's all a jumbled mess. It's just the way it is between the many TV shows and the changes in the titles and everything else, with certain actors being fired for several different reasons, the change of the names in these movies as well, change of directors several times. Like they're starting off with at a disadvantage, I guess. That's the point. Like, well, we have the Russo brothers and some big names like Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans and all these people coming back. They're still on the other side, I guess, of the argument. There's quite a lot that they need to clear, and it's very difficult, and it's very unfair, of course, to put this on them, but it's just, the way it is. It's just the way the business works, the entertainment industry works. So, I would say, because there's so much mess that's come before this, I'm very curious to see how they can manage to even tie most of the threads up. I mean, I'm already starting from the from I guess like the expectation that it's not going to be able to, link all the movies or all the threads, because it's just impossible. Like, there's just so much that has happened in the past few years with Marvel, and most of it felt like a uncontrolled mess, that it'd be very surprising if they can manage to like connect all of them. And I'm not expecting them to do that, but at least to come with something that can link them, at least that would be great. And I do think, here's why I think, apart from, of course, the brand recognition in terms of Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans, Steve Rogers, I guess, coming back. And I think also the other characters that have been lined up, I think apart from the money perspective of it, I think it's really also maybe the only way to sort of make it feel like it's linked back to everything that happened before. Like, that's probably the easiest way forward to try and link it all, because hopefully with this, if they do manage to achieve that, or at least get a movie that many people can be interested in, there could be a way forward for Marvel, and I think also maybe for DC eventually, if they learn the right lessons, I guess, with what they're putting out. But so there's a lot of play here, and of course, if the movie flops, I think it's just going to be the end for superhero movies. I'm very sad to say, but it will be a great reckoning, I guess, like in terms of why the genre, leading genre at least, will be for Hollywood, because I'm not sure they have found a complete replacement yet for that. I mean, they've had pretty good animation movies and some other blockbusters, but there hasn't been a genre yet that has emerged that can be considered as the new superhero movie equivalent, I guess. So, but I'm sure Hollywood will try to find a way of a new genre to just milk down, basically. So yeah, this is a very big preamble, but I think that sort of puts you in perspective as to like what the movie needs to achieve, and why it's such a pivotal movie. But again, I understand why this movie now is being the most searched. Maybe it's not necessarily for all the right reasons. Like, it's definitely, people are definitely interested in it, and I think part of it also is this new marketing strategy, which I'll get to in a few moments. But I think also part of it is just because, like, people are genuinely all curious to see if this is going to be a flop or not. I think first weekend, it's definitely going to be massive anyway, because a lot of people are intrigued to see if it's shit or not. And Marvel started to gain a lot of haters also too, because of the big inconsistencies that they're thrown out to us in the past few years. But so there's a lot of that coming in as well. But I think what really stands, really is going to signify, I guess, a big moment for Marvel is, and for the Avengers movie, is to see how it performs overall, and like how it holds and all that stuff, is people are gonna spread the word around and rewatch it and all that stuff like they used to do ages ago. So yeah, it could be a good reset point. And if this does well, I think also it bodes well for Secret Wars, which is supposed to be a continuation of this one, coming a year later. So yeah, like, time to toughen up, I guess. The pressure for the Russo brothers and Marvel and Kevin Feige must be massive. Massive, massive, massive. Yeah. So, how did this whole thing, start? I think the movie was originally called Kang Dynasty, back when it was announced in July, I think, 2022. And this was supposed to be like the apex alongside Secret Wars of the multiverse saga. So yeah, but ever since then we've received several different news, and the title has changed, directors have changed, the main villain has changed too, because of illegal issues. So there's been a lot of reworks around this, and people are starting to question whether the Avengers Doomsday movie, which has surprisingly changed direction, I guess, since only since 2024, July 2024, yeah, that's when we first knew about it, direction they were going in, and the new directors. People are surprised at how quickly this movie came together, and I think people were wondering if there's a possible connection with the original script that was meant to be for Avengers, King Dynasty. If they reworked it around and just substituted some parts with Doom instead and all that stuff. But I think from what people have been saying online and scoopers and all that stuff, that this seems to be a bit more of a fresh story rather than a rework around Kang Dynasty. So yeah, so this official title, I guess, the Doomsday thing, has been a relatively new one. It's been announced in July 2024 at the Comic-Con, and we had a very viral moment of Tony Stark revealing himself. Robert Downey Jr. taking off the mask of Doom and revealing himself as the actor taking the mantle for Avengers Doomsday. Like, as you all know, he was Iron Man in the previous movies, and people are also wondering, of course, if this is somehow tied to Iron Man, or if this is the same Tony Stark from the universe that we've all known, or if this is a complete variation of the character that happens to look like Iron Man, but is him in a different universe or whatever, that somehow became Doctor Doom. We don't know yet. They could play into that. I would like them to play into that, because I would like to have some sort of connection to the previous movies as well. That would be good. But we'll see what this is too. And then through the filming specifically began, although in April 2025, which is crazy. So literally it's coming out a year and a half almost. Well, I guess so, even more than that. Almost a year and a half. Well, a little more than a year and a half since they started filming it. And when the film began, then we also had a big reveal of who the returning characters were. We had this massive live stream, which is the first, element of the new marketing movie. This whole huge live stream that lasted like a full day or so, where they were like just panning every couple of minutes or so to a cast member announced for the movie, and that was very interesting. I think definitely it took the internet by a storm. It was a massive moment. Everyone was commenting, "Oh my God, who's going to be coming back next?" and all that stuff. It was definitely trending quite a bit. I think also when they first announced it, the live stream itself accumulated roughly 275, I think people were saying, million views in the first 24 hours. They just surpassed every possible past live streams that were made for Marvel, and just a bunch of mentions, 55 direct trending terms on X, the hashtag was just top trending topic for like 7 hours. It was just a massive moment. I think they really went ahead and did quite a lot with that. So yeah, that was one thing. Then there was a bit of a tease at the. I think it was in China. They had like a little tease of what Doom would roughly look like in the movie, with the mask and everything. And there was that. And then I think another one was, well, very recently, basically. Now that everyone was wondering if they were going to put like a teaser or something, a trailer for the movie, since it's like coming out in a year. And instead of getting like a specific trailer this year, Disney has tied basically the movie to the new Avatar movie. And what they're really doing new that's really, really interesting, they're releasing an exclusive theater only trailer every week, and it's a different one every week. If you go and see Avatar, basically, so if you go and see Avatar for every week, basically, you'll see a different trailer every week playing in front of the movie. So as of now, since this is like going to be, I think, the third week, we're walking into the third week of Avatar. We're going to receive a third trailer, but 2 trailers have already been out, and the third one I think was already leaked. I'm not sure if it's true or not, but the first 2 are definitely confirmed. First one, it was a shocker for everyone. It was Chris Evans, well, official news of him coming back. We didn't know, it was rumored, but we basically, the trailer itself, I saw it in person as well, because I went to watch Avatar. It was basically him in and you know how a storyline ended, like he went back in time and just started living with Peggy again. So we find out that he's not a dad now, and then he's gonna come back to the movie. He's gonna be back as Captain America. Reaction to that was a bit of a mixed one, I would have to say. To be fair, it did trend quite a bit, but it was a bit of a mixed reaction, because people were saying, what is the point of making Anthony Mackie the new Captain America and all that stuff. It feels like a bit of a regression in a way. But you know what? I think it just, if you're bringing back Robert Downey Jr. as Doom, you need to have, I think, Chris Evans and Tom Holland as well reacting to him being, Doom now. Like, their characters need to be, they're so tied to Robert Downey Jr. that if you're going with that, I think you need to have at least those 2 actors back in action as well. So I think, we'll just have to see how to use him and what purpose he has in the movie and why he's been brought back as well. What's that doing for the movie? I mean, through the different casting announcements as well, we have known that the Fox X-Men cast, most of them are coming back as well, which is very exciting. I mean, they're definitely leaning into the multiverse of it all, and they're going to do also, the Wakandans, Fantastic Four, the new Avengers, the old Avengers, basically, and yada yada. And then the second trailer has Thor in it, gearing up to just talking to Odin as well. It was just like they also saw it's all parallels, I guess, to the first one with Chris Evans, because there's also Thor's adoptive daughter there as well. So that was quite interesting. I mean, we already knew that Chris Hemsworth was coming back as Thor. So yeah, whatever. I think we brushed past that. But the third trailer that seemingly has leaked and may be true, may not be true, is for the Fox X-Men team, I guess. And it looks so cool. Like, also, Cyclops having his moment is just, like, apparently, if that's true or not, I'm not really entirely sure, but he seems very, very cool, and it's getting people very excited. I think also, again, people are really talking about this movie now, even today. And I think with this strategy of like every single week having a new trailer, is really adding to the experience, and people are really, you know, talking about it every single week, which is really good to see, and it hasn't happened in ages with any comic book movie discussions of this sort and this magnitude. So, yeah, like that's impressive. That's so impressive. So, I'm excited. I mean, again, we won't know. This is just like a big gamble, I guess. It could be a big gamble. So, we don't know how the quality of the movie is and all that stuff, but people are, the one thing is true, and the one thing is that people are talking about it, and that's just what really matters. Now, I've been surprisingly one of the few people kept on just seeing all the Marvel movies at the cinema, and I have to be honest, like, especially the most recent ones, I think they've been really good in quality as well. Like Fantastic Four, I really enjoyed that. What was it? Thunderbolt was so good, so good, in tone and in style and everything else. But I think because many people of the general public have lost the plot, I guess they didn't really check it out, and any of them out. But Avengers is still in their mind quite recognizable as a brand, and I think people will be interested in seeing it. Like and also the fact that I think it's being set up as the next Christmas movie, like the big blockbuster for Christmas, by being associated with Avatar, and seeing how Avatar is currently playing out at the at the box office, having strong legs and everything else. There's a high chance that this could make a lot of money, and we'll see how it goes. But we need to. I really am looking forward to seeing a final trailer, like out of these. I think they're saying there's a chance it could be 4 trailers. Basically, I'm really hoping that we have one where at least we see Doom, or a bit of the movie as well. I mean, clearly with the X-Men one, it seems that we are looking at the movie as well, and maybe the Thor one as well. But yeah, I'm very excited to see how this plays out. I mean, I would love to know how people think about it, if they're going to check it out or not. I'm definitely, of course, being very interested in it, as you can tell. But yeah, I'm hoping that this goes well, because I do enjoy the superhero genre, I guess, pretty much so. And yeah, I would love to explore more stuff. I think another big movie that is definitely another good thing about this whole thing is that the Spider-Man movie, the next Spider-Man movie, is coming out this coming summer as well. So that's good. I think that's also a movie that everyone has been talking about, and Spider-Man is one of those rare situations where everyone is interested in it. Doesn't matter. And the more they stay like sort of not exactly connected to whatever else is going on in MCU, the better, I think, in a way, because you can protect a sort of that brand. That specific brand stays untouched, basically. So I think Marvel could be potentially looking at a very good year ahead of them for in 2026, but only time will tell. Anyways, these are sort of like my thoughts about the uncertainty, I guess, that we are, but like nonetheless the amount of chatter that is going around the movie. So let me know your thoughts. I'll leave it to the sponsor of the episode, and then stay tuned for Songs of the Week, because I have some big ones from Heated Rivalry that I really want to talk about. Yep, see you in a bit. I've been trying to clean up my morning routine lately, and one thing I've been really into is strong coffee company. If you're like me and you love coffee but don't love the jitters or the crash, this is worth checking out. Their black instant coffee tastes like a legit cup of coffee, smooth, rich, but it's also packed with way more than just caffeine. Each serving has 15 grams of protein, MCTs for sustained energy, and adaptogens like ashwagandha and L-theanine, so you can get focus and alertness without feeling wired and just jittery. I really like that it also gives steady energy and mental clarity instead of that up and down spike. And they also have lattes if you want something creamier and a bit more rich in flavor. Those combine protein, collagen, and healthy fats, so it's actually keeping you also full and focused on for quite a few hours. I've partnered with them to get you the highest discount they offer anywhere, so you can get 20% off any product when you use my promo code Overshare Pamphlet at checkout. So you can just go to strongcoffeecompany.com, use the code Overshare Pamphlet, and if you do, you're also supporting me and the show. I earn a small commission when you use my code, so definitely worth a try. And if you want a smarter way to do coffee, just definitely go for Strong Coffee Company. Now, this is incredible because I'm managing to finish the month with a song from Heated Rivalry, like from the soundtrack, which is really, really exciting for me. I mean, as if you've been living under a rock, I guess you wouldn't know what I'm talking about, but check out my previous episode, I guess, when I reviewed the sensational Heated Rivalry TV show, which concluded, which ended on the 26th of December. So I was, meanwhile, I was away from here. I was in Lisbon, spending Christmas with my parents, and literally on the 26th, when I was flying back, I was literally in the airport watching the last episode, and I was literally terrorizing the entire fucking airport. Like, literally, I was sad. I was tuned in, watching every single minute of that episode, and I also cried. That episode was just perfect finale as well, leaving, of course, an open end for the second season, which will happen as it had been confirmed. But yeah, that's very that's very, very telling. But anyways, one of the main things about this episode I really, really enjoyed was the ending. Like, the end credit scenes was quite interesting. Just beautifully shot. They just have this shot of them, like this one shot continuously of them driving back to the cottage, and while the credits are rolling, they have this song as well that's called "Bad Things" by Kaylin Russo. Don't know anything about the artist. The beauty about this show is that the soundtrack is so good, as I talked about in my previous episode as well. But also, I think they use songs that are quite indie and quite unknown, I would say, or like fairly few people might know about them. I mean, apart from Wet Leg, I think most of the songs there are quite unknown. So yeah, this is a great example of this. Like, the great soundtrack for the entire show, but this song specifically, just chef's kiss. This is like it starts off with a very churchy type of like organ sound, and then it turns into just like this very sexy rock influence, like indie rock influenced song about, of course, wanting to do bad things with the person you like, and having this like insane chemistry between two people. Just really cool song, so catchy. And especially the chorus explodes, like, just gets very intense with the guitar and the way she sings in her head voice. I really like the melody, like specifically the end part of the chorus, like, I wanna do bad things with you, bad things with you. This is so good, so good. I'm really obsessed. Like, I'm literally listening to this track every single time that I get. I just like listen to this on repeat. So that was, part of the great experience. Also, a good chapter, I guess, a final chapter for my trip in Lisbon. So I was literally on the plane back, flying back to London, listening to this, which was so good. I also ran today to the song, which was also, again, a great experience. Totally recommend. But yeah, so the other two songs in the playlist are also songs that I've listened and discovered while in Lisbon. So there's a bit of a variation here, which is really interesting. I just love traveling so much because, like, I listen to stuff that I wouldn't normally listen to, I guess, when I'm in my own environment here. So it's just like, you just really associate a lot of memories also to new songs and or even old songs that you rediscover. But these two songs are one in Portuguese and one in French. One of the two I found it while just searching for Portuguese music while I was there, and the other one was just came on the radio while I was in Lisbon, and I just really, really enjoyed it so much that I had to save it, and I have to be talking to you guys about it. So the first song, the French one, is Ker Maldra, which means, I think, cursed heart or something. I'm not entirely sure. Either way, it's from Marine. And the song is sort of like disco-y, I would say. Very catchy. Incredible chorus. Very pop influenced. And just really, really good. Like, I just cannot... it has a very echoey sound as well in the chorus. Like, it repeats the words that the main singer says as well. Really cool. And just, yeah, very disco influence, I would say. Quite interesting, but just very catchy. And I mean, I don't speak necessarily French, but just, the lyrics are very interesting, I would say. Just a great pop song, I would say. Just a very good pop song. I can see why it was on the radio. And the other song is Amor di Mundo, which is by Cesaria Evora. That is a Portuguese song that is quite old-timey, perfect for this trip. So good. There's a lot of orchestral elements in here, a bit of a flute, a bit of a violin, a bit of a, maraca situation as well. Like, a lot of great production, like very classical but also jazzy. It's a very jazzy song. It's a very jazzy song, but with a lot of classical instruments in it, string elements as well. And yeah, and the way she sings is just really, really cool. Like, so old timey, and just really makes you feel like you're experiencing a great holiday, man. Very, I would say, also very summery, to be fair, but Lisbon, even during Christmas, was quite sunny and very almost warm, to be fair, I would say. So that really fit the vibe quite well. And I used it for my post for my trip. So if you want to go and check it out as well, it's on Instagram. Just follow me there, robscal.jpg. You can see all the posts that I make. I'm just like obsessed with taking pics as well. But this was a perfect mood for the trip. So yeah, hope you guys check it out. You can just search the playlist on Spotify, the Overture Pamphlet Songs of the Week, December 2025. And I cannot wait to walk into New Year with you guys. This is going to be the last episode of the year. So damn, I just realized that. That's crazy. But more to come in 2026, more songs to talk about, more topics to talk about. I'm very excited to see where the podcast goes next. But yeah, see you. Bye.